Dozens of lightning strikes yesterday. Those triggered fast-spreading wildfires, forcing evacuations across several counties. CAL FIRE calling these fires the TCU September Lightning Complex. And as of this afternoon, the fires have burned around 12,000 acres, impacting Stanislaus, Calaveras, and Tuolumne counties. So here's a map of all the fires that have popped up in that area. You can see that the biggest one is that 6.5 fire in Tuolumne County. The 6.5 fire has burned nearly 6,500 acres, destroyed homes and other buildings in the historic town of Chinese Camp. And you can see on the map the evacuation orders associated with this fire. Those are in red. And then the warnings, those are in the yellow to the north. Right now, we want to go to your reporter, Nina Burns, joining us live from Chinese Camp with more on the damage left behind. This is day 2 of fire coverage for you. What's the latest on this one?
Yeah, Dominic, we just talked to CAL FIRE, who says the acreage here grew to about 6,700 acres. And we can see it here. I want you to take a look at this building behind me. On that plaque, it says it was built in 1961 and it is in ruins. Now, we got here about 15 minutes ago, and driving through, we just see all of these buildings burnt to ash. And we spoke to CAL FIRE, who says they are still actively fighting this fire. If you take a look over here, there is quite literally a part of a tree just on fire. And we are looking everywhere, and these buildings are just run down. They're made of stone, they are made of brick, and they are falling apart. Now, CAL FIRE says that overall, there has been through the 22 lightning fires, there have been thousands of acres burned. And, you know, this isn't just homes here that have been ruined. It's a part of gold rush history. And we're seeing that in these historic buildings that are just burnt to the ground. The smoke right now is very, very strong. I'm going to have to grab my mask over this, but we were talking to CAL FIRE, who says, you know, while so many things were ruined, they are fighting when there are the residential ranches out here, and they have managed to save quite a few of those. So that's down the road. We're planning on going and checking this out. But again, the smoke is thick and the devastation is real. We know that these are back from the gold rush. That's why this area is so infamous. And to see this history burnt down, I mean, I can't imagine how it feels for the actual residents who live here, Dominic.
Yeah, Nina Burns with a look at some of the just devastation in Chinese Camp, but really a part of history. Nina, thank you. We appreciate it. And now we want to move to the 2.7 fire. That's the one burning between Angels Camp and Murphy's, just north of Vallecito. This fire still forcing evacuation warnings and orders in that area. Burned nearly 600 acres, and so far there is no containment. CAL FIRE says they're calling in additional engines, dozers, also aircraft, as this fire pushes northeast and does threaten structures. Want to go to First Alert meteorologist Ashley Nanfria joining us now. What are the conditions firefighters are having to deal with right now?
Well, they're mainly going to deal with the warm temperatures as we heat up through the afternoon. Many spots, especially from Calaveras County to Tuolumne County, will get back into the mid to upper 90s. But also on top of that, although wind has been light all day, we are going to see an increase by this evening. As we look at wind speeds right now, our wind direction out of the north. And as you get closer to Jackson, we're actually seeing it turn a little bit more to the east, and that's going to push a lot of the smoke and haze off towards the east, which will be helpful for air quality. But really, when it comes to our warm, dry conditions, it's not helpful. And that northerly wind, well, that continues to dry things out even more with all the dry grasses in that area. As we look at wind speeds right now, ranging anywhere from 5 to 10 miles per hour from Jackson to Columbia. Little to no wind as you get closer to Copperopolis and Chinese Camp, but that is going to change later on this afternoon and evening. We're going to get an increase of our delta breeze, and that's going to allow for us to cool down in the valley. But for those areas in the foothills, it's going to be breezy tonight, and that's what wildfire crews are going to be up against. As we look at satellite and radar, luckily everything very quiet compared to how things were 24 hours ago. We did have a few lingering showers and storms off to the northern Sierra. We'll see a few returning this afternoon, focused on the Sierra crest. But as far as our foothill communities go and the valley goes, it's going to continue to stay sunny and clear through the rest of the afternoon. I've got the details in your forecast of the air quality impacts all this smoke is bringing to the valley, and of course a look ahead to a nice cool down on the way for the rest of the week coming up in just a few minutes. Dom.
All right, Ashley, thank you. And also keeping an eye on the fire. This one's called the 2.2 fire. This is burning in Calaveras and Stanislaus counties. Burned nearly 3,500 acres just east of Telegraph City. CAL FIRE says the fire is still active, but evacuation warnings have been lifted. So, of course, we'll continue to track the September lightning complex fires, a number of them, both on air, streaming on CBS News Sacramento, also online at cbs13.com.